right. Good afternoon, Shojaunaé. How are you
I
today?
am okay. How are you?
I'm very good. My goodness, I was very impressed with your resume, and I don't say
Mhm.
that all the time. What a bright star
Thank
with
you.
your accolades from your schooling, the jobs that you've held. I'm very impressed.
Thank
So,
you.
you're welcome. So what I would like to do now is have you tell me a little bit about the work that you have done and your schooling. So just tell me a little bit about you.
Myself, yeah. Okay, no problem. So I don't even know where to start because I have so much. But a base would be I'm from the Caribbean and I was actually born in America, but I've lived in the Caribbean all my life. When I moved back here, it was for my higher education. And so I pursued an associate's in North Carolina in aviation management. And it was basically management courses, but geared towards aviation. So I still honed a lot of management admin skills with that degree, but it was veered towards like an aviation office or aviation business. And then I followed that up with a bachelor's in air traffic management with the hopes of becoming an air traffic controller. However, that process has deemed very long and it's very like an uncertain process, which they did not really explain going through because there's so many stop gaps. I knew the process and I knew that like something like, oh, you're colorblind could literally destroy you from having the job. So it's a very technical job. And so even though that is a goal and I have steadily applied to it for like 3 years, I'm still literally in the process of just trying to get past the test. So I've decided to hone, while I was doing my bachelor's degree, I was honing aviation skills in hopes of becoming an aviation professional. Now I'm doing my master's within DeVry University, and now I'm looking for an admin position, which would place me in a position to hone skills such as time management that I already have and stuff like that, clerical skills, any typing, Microsoft tool skills, anything like that. And then also develop skills that I may not have in my toolbox right now. So that's really where I'm at with that. In terms of work, so I started work as soon as I graduated high school in 2014. I started working at an internship. So that's where my passion for aviation kind of grew because I worked at an air traffic control tower as an air traffic assistant. After that, I then went to came to the United States to get my associates, and I was working in a gas station. That was just my basic job. But you would think that those jobs don't give you skills. They do, because I had to handle money. I had to balance. I was a financial service agent. So I had to process payments for Western Union, for bill pay and stuff like that. So I developed a lot of skills as my first job in the United States. And then after that, I was with that company for 3 years because I was scared to leave, literally, because it was my first job. But then I left once I was nearing the end of my degree, and I was like, okay, I need a little more experience somewhere else. And so I went to a call center, and that's where I got my customer service first plunge into professional customer service. Because yes, you're at a gas station, you're providing customer service, but when you're in customer service, it's like you're a representative for this company. You have to take like customer service resolution and stuff like that, problem resolution, asking probing questions to get to the end solution, stuff like that. So I did that, and then I moved to Daytona to pursue my bachelor's. So kind of like my work followed me with my schooling. And so going through my bachelor's, I worked at a hotel, and so I developed some hospitality experience there and more customer service, obviously, learned new skills. I was also a bartender there. It was like front desk slash bartender. So I have a lot of customer service experience. And then, it's geared a little bit to the side when you do front office, because you have to go to the room sometimes, fill in where housekeepers can't and stuff like that. So I have experience there. After that, I then went into aviation, where I was going into my core. So you would see that I left the hotel and then went into aviation for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
However, during that time while I was pursuing my bachelor's, my mom passed away. And
Oh, I'm so
so
sorry.
there, yeah, sorry. I don't like to talk about it, but it's a part of what I
Sure.
went through kind of. So I I finished my bachelor's and then I decided to kind of take a break. So that was my little break you kind of see from 22 to 23, where my mom passed away in 21 and I never got to stop. You know, America keeps going, you keep working, you have to keep working, you have to keep going to school, I have to finish my degree. So I never really grieved. And so that piece of time that you see that I wasn't employed, I moved to the UK and I just took some time like needed and for my mental health. After that, I was like, I worked in for Virgin Atlantic at Heathrow as a customer service agent and gate agent. So developed more skills there, but I was more comfortable because that was a field that I was working in for about 1.5, 2 years. And so
Okay.
that was good. And then I decided, okay, I feel a little healthier mentally. And I came back to the US as a flight attendant. I did not like that job. I'm sorry. It is well, when they say it in training, I mean, I passed training, I even passed probation, but I just did not. It was very much a lifestyle change, and they said it was better to know at 6 months than 4 years. So I passed probation. I was like, I spoke to my supervisor at the time, and she listened to me and said that, okay, this sounds like it might not be for you because of the lifestyle. I was barely home, very tired, and I did not get paid a lot because it was fresh. I was a basic trainee flight attendant
Sure.
student. I got rehired at Piedmont in Daytona, so that's how I left. I was in New Jersey at that time, so
Okay.
that's where I was based. And so I moved back to Daytona,
Okay.
and now I am the supervisor at American Airlines. Well, I was, sorry, the supervisor at American Airlines. And then the payment there, it was really bad. And I'm like, I have to do something, one that will push me further, because I feel like that job was almost the same as what I was doing for 1.5 years in my bachelor's. I was the supervisor, but I only got paid $1 more, but I was doing exactly the same thing as an agent. And I feel like that there was no growth
Okay.
in my perspective. Like, yes, I had a little supervisory experience. I had a great team, so I
Mhm.
barely used my supervisory experience, unfortunately. Like, I did have um some experience with, doing disciplining and coaching and other stuff like that, but it was like on the lower level. It was more so
Okay.
technical. I was outside slinging the bags with the
Mhm.
agents. I was upstairs checking people in. So it was about the same thing. And so now what I'm looking for is something that will coincide with my master's degree. I am looking for
Okay.
something that would have me sit down and process mentally, not actual physically, but actually use my brain and do work, like develop skills, whether it be in Excel, whether it be in QuickBooks, whether it be whatever program you guys have for me to learn. I'm always up for that challenge. And so that's where I'm at right now. It's
Sure.
a lot about me.
Well, that was great. I appreciate all your information and your
Yes.
candor.
Yes.
A couple things that I want to talk about. So, my goodness, like looking at your qualifications and your certifications and your accolades, we've got honor roll. This is all
Yes.
Embry Riddle. Honor
Yes.
roll, Dean's List, honor roll. We have Employee of the Month. We
Yes.
have let's see here, workplace etiquette. We have ethics in the workplace, business management, aviation management. I mean, I feel like you've got some really great foundation, if you
Yes.
will.
Yes.
So the one thing that I do want to talk about,
Yeah.
is that you have had quite a few jobs in
Yes.
your time. So
Yeah.
that is something that all employers are going to ask about.
Yes.
Now, normally this part of the interview is something that we do turn off the camera to talk about, but I
Okay.
think in this case, it's going to be important to just mention it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
you know, but I feel like you did touch on it and you were very honest. I mean,
Yes.
a flight attendant is a hard job. There's
It is
no way
so
around
hard.
that. That
It's
is,
so hard.
that's more of a calling for someone that is going to do that.
Correct.
The job with Piedmont, of course, that's a very physical position.
Yes.
So to me, it makes sense that those two positions, of course, go kind of hand in hand that you were going to try
Yeah.
something different and it just didn't work out. And now you want to work
Yes.
to something close
Correct.
to your degree.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense to me. I certainly, again, I'm sorry about your mom. That's,
Yeah.
you know, truly.
Trust
Um,
me, it was hard, but I'm
so
coming
I
out a
understand that
little
you
bit
have
on the
to move.
side. Yeah.
Sure. So I understand the move there. So that, all makes sense to me. And then of course when you were at the Hyatt here in Daytona, you were in
Yeah.
school and then,
And that was COVID as well.
COVID,
So
yeah, right around the
once
COVID time
the
frame.
reason why I left is because I basically wasn't on the schedule. I was
Yeah.
already, it was no point. No one was going to the hotel. They were
Yeah.
basically closed. So that's the only reason I left the job. I probably would have been in it
Yeah,
now.
gotcha. And then the other time you were in school, those other jobs.
Yes,
So,
those other
I mean,
times.
at first glance, if someone a hiring manager were looking at
Right.
your resume, that could be something of reason for concern. But
Yes.
I do think it's important to note that, your education that you were doing towards that time frame. And I
Yeah.
think that the fact that you acknowledged, why you made changes, it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I didn't like
Yeah,
my
I just left the job.
coworker
It was
or
never like that. No.
it was more of a reason behind it. So
Yes.
again, I appreciate your candor and your honesty on that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is stop this part of the interview, but don't
Okay.
go anywhere. We got a few more
No
things to
problem.
chat.
No problem.